Thank you for registering as a judge for the first ever Wisconsin HOSA Virtual State Leadership Conference. We are extremely grateful for your interest and willingness to partner with us to serve as a virtual judge on the state level this year. My name is Noah Mutter-Schultz, and I serve as the Wisconsin HOSA Director of Competitive Events. I am joined by Ms. Julie Williams, who serves as the Deputy Director of Competitive Events. Julie and I also work closely with Ms. Christina Patron, the Wisconsin HOSA State Advisor, and Ms. Shayna Mueller, who serves as the Conference Coordinator for Wisconsin HOSA. Together, the four of us serve on the CE management team and provide the overall leadership and management of the Wisconsin HOSA competitive events and recognition programs. The Wisconsin HOSA CE team is also comprised of dedicated individuals who serve as competitive event lieutenants. Each of our CE lieutenants oversees a category of competitive events on both the regional and state levels. Additionally, Ms. Lori Mosing serves as our Executive Assistant of Competitive Events. Part of her role is also to serve as the judge coordinator on the state level. You should have received an email from her with information about the competitive event you have been assigned to judge on the state level this year. For the competitive event you have been assigned, the respective lieutenant will serve as your primary point of contact during the virtual judging window. If you have any initial questions or concerns regarding your event or the virtual judging process, feel free to direct those to Lori Mosing in the meantime. Introductions aside, now that our state leadership conference has taken a virtual format due to the ongoing impact of COVID-19, we are excited for this opportunity to reach various health professionals, educators, and alumni that may have not otherwise been able to join us for our conferences if they were held in person this year. If this is your first time as an event judge for Wisconsin HOSA, you may still be wondering, what actually is HOSA? HOSA is a global student organization for future health professionals. HOSA focuses on learning, leadership, service, and innovation. Through participation in the competitive events program, students can work to develop and refine these skills. HOSA is open to middle, high school, and college students.
This year has been an unprecedented year, to say the least, and we knew going into this program year there would be a significant impact to our membership. We are excited to report that we had approximately 884 members that registered to compete on the regional level and have advanced over 525 members to compete now on the state level. So now, what will this look like in a virtual format, and what exactly is your role as an event judge? It is important to note that depending on what competitive event you have been assigned, both the event personnel meeting and the overall virtual judging format will look a little bit different. For those of you who were assigned to one of the competitive events scheduled for Saturday, March 20th, 2021, all of these events will be held in a live format using the Zoom platform. The lieutenants will be reaching out around March 1st, 2021 to schedule an individual event personnel meeting with the event judges for between March 6th and 19th. Since each competitive event will run differently in the live format, the lieutenants will provide a few general reminders and instructions, but then we'll discuss the specific information pertinent to the competitive event that you have been assigned and be available to answer any additional questions that you may have during this time. The virtual judging window, as you can see on the next, on this slide, judges will be joining the Zoom meeting approximately 20 minutes prior to the times listed on this schedule. So here's the schedule for the events that will start in the morning on Saturday, March 20th, 2021. Two details to highlight on this schedule. Creative problem solving, you will notice, is listed twice. Competitors will be scheduled to first join a Google Meet where they will receive the secret topic and then have 30 minutes to prepare their presentation for the judges. The first team is scheduled to present at 10:30 in the morning. So judges for this event will need to join the Zoom meeting at approximately 10:10 in the morning. Looking at medical spelling, this event is technically scheduled for 3 hours and 45 minutes. However, we anticipate the event could conclude sooner. The time length takes into consideration if each competitor spells all of the words correctly, yet we do not expect this to be the case as we have some pretty challenging and difficult words for the competitors to spell. Again, judges will need to join the Zoom meeting approximately 20 minutes prior to the times listed here. So for example, if you've been assigned to judge, we'll say pharmacy science, you would actually join at 9:55 a.m. Looking at this next schedule, this is the schedule of events that will start in the afternoon on Saturday, March 20th, 2021. Again, judges will need to join the Zoom meeting 20 minutes prior to the times listed here. So for example, if you've been assigned to judge CPR first aid, you'd actually join at 2:55 p.m. One event to highlight here on this slide, forensic science will be held via Google Meets instead of using the Zoom platform. If you've been assigned to judge this event, please join the Google Meet at approximately 1:30 p.m. Looking at this live events virtual judging process that we have, all events again will be conducted using Zoom platform. We will have room attendants and judges that are joining again 20 minutes prior to the scheduled event start time. Individual breakout rooms will be set up for each competitive event. So competitors will actually be admitted into the breakout room at their scheduled time slot. Judges will then score the competitor or competitors if it's team live using Google Form rubric that we have created for you. The room attendant will then return to the main session when ready for the next competitor to be admitted to the breakout room so that this process flows evenly for you as the judges.
Thank you, Julie. Before I move in to discuss our other competitive events for the state level that will be held on April 10th, I just want to point out or inform you for those who may be wondering how you'll access and when you'll get that Zoom link to attend those meetings scheduled for Saturday, March 20th. Your respective lieutenant will share the Zoom meeting link with you during the week of March 16th through the 19th during your individualized event personnel meeting. So that is when you'll get access to the actual Zoom meeting link that you will use to then join on March 20th. All right, now what will the process look like and what exactly is your role as an event judge if you're not judging one of the live events being held on March 20th? So all of the other events, if they do not have a live component to them, will be held on Saturday, April 10th, 2021. If you have been assigned to one of these events, there will be an event personnel meeting held live via Zoom on the morning of April 10th, 2021 at 9 a.m. The event personnel meeting will be held using Zoom, and that meeting link will be sent to judges on April 5th. That event personnel meeting will last approximately an hour, and then there will be breakout rooms provided that each lieutenant will host, and that will provide the judges the opportunity to have any of their questions answered. The lieutenants will provide general reminders and instructions to all judges and then review any specific information pertinent to each competitive event. The virtual judging window will then open immediately following the event personnel meeting. So the lieutenants will share with you a spreadsheet with all the competitor materials, links to their materials, and they'll share with you the virtual Google form rubric as well, immediately following the event personnel meeting on April 10th. The important thing to note here, especially if you served as a virtual judge on the regional level this year, unlike regionals, their turnaround time to review all competitor materials and submit scores will actually be due by 5 p.m. on Saturday, April 10th. So that is different from the regional level. If you judged with us for regionals this year, the time frame is much shorter, and that's just due to the quicker turnaround for when the competitive events team needs to tabulate scores and have the finalists announced by April 13th. Judges, you'll be able to review and score competitor materials on your own time immediately following the event personnel meeting up until 5 p.m. that day. And so that's really the main process for how virtual judging will occur if the event does not have a live component. Briefly discussed already those competitor materials and judging materials that will be provided to you on April 10th, immediately following the event personnel meeting. Competitor materials will consist of an Excel spreadsheet that will be shared by the lieutenant. That spreadsheet will contain either a link to a recorded YouTube video, if it's an event that has a presentation or speech of some format. It may include links to photos if it's a display board or healthcare photography. Competitors upload photos as part of their event, or there may be links to various PDF documents that will take you to either a portfolio, a resume, or a paper. The judging materials in the email that Laurie has shared with you already, you should have access to the event guidelines for the specific event you're judging. So we highly recommend you begin to review the guidelines and especially the rubrics to familiarize yourself with those, both if you're judging a event with a live component or one of the events without a live component. The judge feedback form will then be shared after SLC has concluded, and that will just provide any comments, issues that you maybe experienced, or any additional feedback you may have for our CE management team to further improve our program for next year. So the two essential resources that will be used, and our lieutenants will go over these more in depth. They'll show you an example, so I'm not going to go into this too much right now, but the event guidelines, at the end of the event guidelines, there are specific rubrics for those skill events and for all of our events. Some may have multiple rubrics, but just start to familiarize yourself with those. We have converted exactly what's on the rubric and the rubric that's being used, if it's a skill event, into a Google form in electronic format. So you'll have that. We do recommend that you print off a set of the rubrics to have with you, especially if you're doing the live judging March 20th. Sometimes some judges find that easier to have a physical copy that they can take notes on or just reference while the competitor is competing, and then go back and enter all that data into the electronic Google form rubric. Jumping ahead a little bit. Another suggestion that we have is if you have the capability of having dual screens, especially again, those who are judging on March 20th, if you have the ability to have dual screens, one that you're just logged into the Zoom meeting, watching the competitors, and then maybe a second screen, iPad or tablet or a spare laptop perhaps, that you can have the electronic rubric up as well. Some found that method to be helpful versus having the paper version. Please complete the evaluation tool that would be provided after the virtual judging window has concluded, and be specific. We work hard to review all evaluations to continue improving our processes for competitive events in future years. There will also be a place for you to provide your address for Wisconsin HOSA to mail you an appreciation gift. Again, on behalf of the members of Wisconsin HOSA, we thank you for your interest and commitment to provide our state competitors an opportunity to further their knowledge and skills in their pursuit to better prepare themselves to become future health professionals. If you have any initial questions or concerns, or if you're unable to commit as a judge at this point, please email Lori Mosing right away. Otherwise, mark your calendars for the event personnel meetings and virtual judging window dates, and we look forward to partnering with you here in the next month. Thank you.